And good morning, everyone. Welcome to Going for Two Live Sunday pregame show with me and Evan, and soon to be Garrison, I think, to answer your DFS questions. Evan, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good, Gladys. Happy to be here with you as always. Ready to go ahead and get into all the start-sit questions, talk some DFS, all that good stuff.
And just so you guys know, Evan's wife is running a 3K with her son in a stroller. Pretty impressive. I'm impressed by it. I'm definitely impressed by it. Okay, we're going to start off with a question that I got on Twitter from at MF Football, or at Mikey B. It's MF Football, but it's at Mikey B. And how would you handle these wide receivers for week 7? PPR league needing to start 2, sit 2. He has Jamar Chase versus Baltimore, DJ Moore versus the Giants, McLaurin versus Green Bay, and AJ Brown versus Kansas City. All right, I'm sorry, Evan. We discussed this a little bit. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, so first of all, it's a great problem to have. What a freaking receiver squad. But for me, I think I would take my shot on definitely AJ Brown because it's going to be a high scoring affair, I believe, in Kansas City. We know that defense is not the greatest. It can be had, and then you throw in a stud receiver like AJ Brown, and I think he has a big game. I'm tempering my expectations for Jamar Chase this week. Going up against that Ravens secondary. So I think he would be the odd man out, as well as Terry McLaurin. Just with Heineke attached to him, Heineke is not, look the greatest. While he's going to hyper target Terry McLaurin, obviously. I'm just tempering my expectations for him as well this week. Yeah, so for me, it's going to be AJ Brown and DJ Moore. I think we see a big bounce back week for DJ Moore against this Giants defense. So AJ Brown and DJ Moore would who I'd be taking my shots on this week. But I mean, once again, you really can't go wrong with that receiver squad. So
It is a really, really good problem to have. In a PPR, I agree. The AJ Brown, I don't think you can set anyone out on that game except for the defenses if you're playing, because if it gets anywhere close to that over under, it's going to be everyone's going to be able to eat the pie. And then DJ Moore against the Giants, I like a lot, especially Darnold going back to MetLife Field. Trying to prove that they were wrong. The New York crowd unjustly biased against him. I see him throwing a lot to DJ Moore, and I actually think Robbie Anderson might be a good DFS play in that game, even though he has been really not great, but not good.
Yeah. AJ Brown actually is the third graded wide receiver on PFS wide receiver cornerback matchup chart. He has an excellent matchup graded at 88.5 behind Cooper Kupp, who against the Detroit Lions is graded at 99.6, the highest grade as far as wide receiver versus cornerback matchup goes. So Cooper Kupp against the Detroit Lions, PFF absolutely loves that matchup. Followed by Devontae Adams with a 91.8 grade against those Washington defenders. But yeah, then AJ Brown comes in at number 3, like I said. So definitely a good matchup for him.
Okay, Richard wants to know who's the better tight end. He has Henry and Andrews. Should he play both? Wait, I have Henry and Andrews in flex. Should I roster both? Hunter Henry. I say yes, if you can. Who's not gonna? Who wouldn't you roster in your flex if you put both tight ends? The only problem I have with putting two tight ends in is the target share. Like if you have someone who's going to tight ends are notoriously not, unless your name is Travis Kelce, not high in target shares. So, Richard, if you could tell us who you would not flex, is it if you're going to put both of them in? But what do you think, Evan?
Yeah, I mean, we know we're getting a good matchup against that Jets defense, but I would just kind of roll with Andrews. I'm curious if he's looking to roster these tight ends at flex, who his actual tight end is, if he's looking to play Mark Andrews at flex. Because I mean, why not just start Andrews at tight end? You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. I think that I would like to see the rest of his roster if he's planning on playing two tight ends. I usually personally don't like to play two tight ends in a lineup,
Right.
Unless I have two stud tight ends. So I think we know that Jacoby Myers is kind of who Mac Jones is hyper targeting, but he is looking for Hunter Henry in the end zone, and against a bad Jets defense, the Patriots should have a good amount of red zone opportunities. So, I mean, you could do worse than Hunter Henry for sure.
I guess we're talking DFS. He took out Cooks and rostered DJ Moore, which I like. I paid down and pick up. I have always liked since draft day Amar and St. Brown, and now he's starting to get his targets. He's starting to get his looks. And pick up St. Brown. I took out Cooks and rostered DJ Moore. I like the switch on the DJ Moore and Cooks. And Goff, I think Goff is going to air that ball out just to try to prove. And I like St. Brown in that too. So I'm not sure if that has anything to do with his Henry and Andrews question, but I have no problem with that second part. What about you? Took out Cooks, roster DJ Moore, pay down, and pick up St. Brown.
No, I think that's a good move. I think it's definitely a good pivot. Like you said, the Rams are definitely going to be up big in this one, as we all expect. Jared Goff is going to be playing with something to prove. Whether or not that translates to him, forcing things and throwing some picks, or if he's locked in and actually plays a good game, because oddly this Lions team has put up some fight in a lot of games this season, and we know Goff's going to have a lot to prove. He's looking Amon-Ra St. Brown's way. So regardless of the matchup, he's going to see the targets. He's a good pay down option at only 4,100 on DraftKings. He's only carrying under 5% ownership. So I don't mind the play at all. And like we already said, we definitely like DJ Moore in this spot. He's also under 10% owned in DraftKings at only 7,100. So I'm looking for a big bounce back day for him. I like the move. I like the pivot.
Morning Facebook user. And the question is, do we think Waller is playing? Is Waller hurt? I haven't heard anything about Waller not playing. Have you?
I have. It's looking like he's not feeling, the greatest. So it's said that it will be a game time decision. So we just don't know yet. It is a 4:05 game. So you kind of got to look at your lineup. Because unfortunately you don't have him in the 1:00 slot where you're going to get that news. You're going to get that news after the 1:00 games already start. So you kind of got to, figure out, do you want to take that shot or kind of set yourself up to be able to take him out if he doesn't go and have a backup plan.
If you can, Facebook user, is that the Waller question? If you can pick up Ross Dwelly, how do you pronounce his last name? DWE.
Ross Dwelly, yeah.
Dwelly. If you can pick up Ross Dwelly, who I think is really low owned in Yahoo leagues, I don't know what league you're in, and hold on to him, because that's a late game too. Then you could switch out. If you have Zach Ertz is probably taken. Cole Kmet maybe against the Tampa Bay. Either of those two, I would try to see if you could pick him up and stash him. And then if Waller isn't playing, you have someone that you could put in. But like I said, it just sucks that it's a late game and there's nothing else that you can do.
Yeah, that's the only thing that sucks.
So Henderson, excuse me, Henderson Swift game flow is so nice. Swift has had an injury designation since the beginning of the start of the season, like the last 6 games. So I like that. I really do like that Henderson Swift game flow. Choosing Andrews as tight end, no Henry. Who's better for 4,200? Philip Lindsay or Alan Lazard? I'll let you take that one.
What was it? I'm sorry. I was trying to read up on Darren Waller, which he still is questionable. But it's both ankle and knees. So I would be under the impression that they may take it, a cautious approach with them, honestly.
It's Richard said choosing Andrews as his tight end, no Henry. Who's better at 4,200? Lindsay or Lazard?
Lindsay or Lazard at 4,200?
I would go Lazard personally.
Yeah, I would go Lazard because he has Aaron Rodgers attached to him.
Yeah.
That I don't think you need to play Lindsay at all.
In that game, so we know, or we think, or it's good. It's a good guess that Houston is going to be way far behind. So Johnson is out targeting both Lindsay and Ingram as far as passes go. I don't. Lindsay would be my third choice on that team to play. So I would play Lazard at 42.
Yeah, I mean, Russell Gage is back too in the Falcons offense at only 4,000. I would look his way before I would go Lindsay. I would look Nelson Aguilar's way at 3,700 before I would go Lindsay. I would look maybe to find 500 more bucks and play Tyler Boyd. There's a lot of different options.
Is that you're not going to play Lindsay no matter what?
Yeah, a lot of different options I would go before I would look to play Philip Lindsay. I mean, we even already talked about Amon-Ra St. Brown at only 4,100. I would play him all day over Philip Lindsay.
Yeah, so Lindsay's a no-go. Hardman for 4,300, not bad. He's paid off.
I can see it, against this bad Titan secondary. For me, I would try to see if I could find 300 more bucks and get Darnell Mooney in. Justin Fields is going to be having to throw a lot against this Tampa Bay Buccaneers secondary. We've already saw that him and Fields and Mooney have some chemistry. For 300 more bucks, I would look to go to quarterback's pretty much first option before I would go to the fourth option on a Chiefs team.
So Matt says, if Waller's out, does that boost Renfro and Ruggs enough for either of them to be a must start? And who is the better play?
So it depends on what you're looking for, in my opinion. Ruggs is looked a lot better this year, but he is still kind of that boom bust play. That if him and Carr connect on those big plays, then he's going to have a day at just 5,500. But then you have pretty much the sure thing in Hunter Renfrow, who just, that man catches everything that comes his way. He gets a lot of targets. So in PPR, I would be going Renfrow. But like I said, it depends on what you need or what you're looking for. Boom bust play for Ruggs, and then you kind of get that sure floor in Hunter Renfrow.
I completely agree. I would play. I have Hunter Renfrow, especially in PPR. I would play Hunter Renfrow over Ruggs. Ruggs, you're counting on that. Like Evan said, you're counting on that one big catch where he gets like 70 yards and goes for a touchdown. Renfrow, he's going to get at least what? Let me see what he's averaging.
Yeah, he's
game.
He's going to see 7 to 8 targets easily, and he's only 4,800. So you're saving $700 by going to Renfrow, and at only 4,800, he should be able to pay off that price tag.
Yeti Express DFS: who catches the ball for the Giants is a big question. That's truly is the only question. Who does he? Sterling Shepard. That's all that's left. Like I'm not trusting Evan Ingram, so that's not even.
Yeah, Darius Slayton is slated to come back as well. So he's expected to return. He's only 4,000 on DraftKings, but yeah, with Sterling Shepard should be the guy in this offense for sure.
Yeah, I would play if I would play anyone in that game. I would play Sterling Shepard. Matt also says play Bateman over Lindsey, Lazard, or Hardman. Play Rashad Bateman.
Yeah,
Sammy Watkins is out, right? Again.
he is, and we saw that. I mean, in just his first game, I think we saw, if I remember correctly, Bateman saw 6 targets already. So I expect as the season goes on, that target share to continue to rise. He's only 3,400 on DraftKings. I'm going to be playing a lot of Bateman at that price today for sure.
So I have a kind of like a caveat. So in my start set, I said to sit Bateman, and that was on the assumption that Sammy Watkins is back. I think if Watkins back, it severely depresses Bateman's upside. His ceiling goes down, his floor goes down. But in this game, with divisional games, I hate betting on divisional games because the opponents know each other so well. You never know what's going to happen, and especially in that NFC North. But I would play Bateman because I think that Latavius Murray's out too, right? So Watkins is out,
Yeah.
Latavius Murray's out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely would. I would definitely play Bateman in this. If that's who is it over? Oh yeah. Well, okay, so we've already established that Lindsey's out of the question. Like in no universe are we playing Lindsey. Lazard, Hardman though. Hardman is how is what's Tyreek Hill's status? Like he's playing, but
He is. And
is it a hamstring?
So for me, it's just it is the price difference. You can you can save $900 by going to Bateman. They have pretty much the same ownership. But yeah, for me, it's gonna be, like I said, the price difference for me.
So you taking over Hardman too?
I'm gonna be playing both, but yeah, I'm gonna have more of Bateman.
Okay. Yeah, the choices for me out of year 4 would be Bateman or Hardman. I'm not a huge DFS player like Evan, so my DFS knowledge goes on who whatever. Last week I pitched Josh Gordon, so we know where that I stand on that. But yeah, Bateman I like. Yeti Yeti says, fun fact, Jackson is 5-0 versus Cincinnati in his career.
Mm-hmm.
That unfortunately doesn't mean anything for fantasy. True. However, he's been looking so good lately. So good. So I'm going to go 6-0. I'm going to go Jackson's going to be 6-0.
With that being said, I'm putting some money down on Cincinnati on the money line.
Is that your bet where you bet the 3, the parlay the 3? What's the spread on that?
Are you
betting the spread or straight up?
Oh no, I absolutely love the spread. I got the Bengals at plus 7.5.
Oof, really?
I would even bet them. I love them even at. I've seen them in the market at 6, 6.5. But yeah, I was able to get them at one book at plus 7.5 here at home in Delaware, and I am all over that. But I'm also going to put some scratch, like I said, at plus 230 on the money line. It opened at 225. It has since dropped to 230. Everyone's on Baltimore. I like to zig when everyone's zagging, so I'm gonna put some scratch on Cincy.
So in that one, that's the money line. You're not betting the spread. You're just betting that they're going to be Baltimore straight up.
Correct. But I'm also
Third choice, my friend.
Yeah, it is. But when I can get Cincy at plus 230. I can get, Miami at plus 110. I'll calculate it here for you in a sec. Then I'm going to put a little bit because, it's risk reward. You put a little bit to gain a lot, and if I lose, which is the odds are I will, but, I'm not, losing too much. So.
Richard says, while you're looking at that, does Mixon have upside today, or should I roll with Patterson? Which Pat?
Probably Cordell. Yeah, he's probably talking.
Oh my God! When would you not roll with Cordell? Seriously.
I would find a way to get both of them in my lineup. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm sure there's other options that you can sit.
I would roll with Cordell. Would I roll with him over Mixon? Probably. He's
Yeah,
yeah. He's the man right now
that's
in
a
that
tough one
offense.
for me.
That's a tough one for you?
Yeah, because I'm really love Mixon.
Oh. Well, yeah, since you're going Cincy over Baltimore.
Yeah, so
So do you
that's
think that okay. So do you think that's going to be a run heavy game for the Bengals, or do you think Burrow's going to air it out, but just not to Jamar Chase?
um. So I think that they're gonna go into it and try to establish Mixon early and often because you
Okay.
want to do your best to keep Lamar Jackson off the field. You know,
Yes.
the longer you can keep that man off the field, you have a better chance of winning. So I think they're going to try to establish Joe Mixon early and often. I really do, because we know Baltimore has a good secondary. So why not try to get Mixon, involved early and often, whether or not and the Bengals have a good defense. They really do. Whether or not they can stop Lamar Jackson, that is, we'll find out soon. But as long as this is a close game and the Bengals are in it, I think they're going to feed Joe Mixon the rock and try to keep Lamar Jackson on the sidelines for sure. I don't know that they're going to open it up and try to take many shots down the field unless they have to.
Yeah. So Richard, can you roll with both? I would roll with both then. If that is the prevailing theory, I would roll with both.
But
Yeti's
yeah,
favorite prop bet is Pitts over 51.5, but he likes Evan thoughts on his favorite. What are your thoughts on what? Whoa, what? What are your favorite prop bets for today?
so I definitely Pitts over 51.5 is I like that. I don't know the odds. I didn't see the odds at that. I haven't got that one. But yeah, I definitely have some that I've put,
I think it's
money on.
115.
Okay. Yeah, I would take that bet for sure. But yeah, I've put money down on Sony Michel to go under 6.5 carries at plus 105. I've put money under on Jalen Rager's receptions under 2.5 at plus 127. I'm taking Devontae Freeman over 8.5 carries at plus 114 with Latavius Murray. I mean, not plus, minus 114 with Latavius Murray out. We saw him kind of look the best while all the running backs got 9 carries last week once Latavius Murray went out. I think Devontae Freeman looked the best out of the group, and I think they're going to turn to him to kind of be the lead back today against the Bengals. I've also placed money on Christian Kirk. I'd really like Ross Dwelly to go over 2.5 receptions. You're getting with George Kittle out, you're getting him at plus money. You're getting him at plus 137. I think he can catch 3 balls. No question in my mind.
I like that. Where's that bet? I would do that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So then you can get Joe Mixon at 79.5 receiving and rushing yards at minus 115. And then I'm also pegging Lamar Jackson to throw an interception. So you can get him at plus money at plus 100 to throw an interception. So good value there, I think. All you need is a tip ball and, one of those fluky passes to go up in the air. It doesn't even have to be his fault, but still counts at plus 100. I'll be cashing in on that.
So he says since I'm sorry, not he. Matt says since Ridley is back in full form, does that put a cap on Patterson's output?
See, I don't think so. It potentially could, but I don't think so because we've seen Matt Ryan look his way. We've seen him play with everyone on the field, and he still looked good. I mean, it just seems that regardless, Matt Ryan's going to look Cordell Patterson's way, and he has been producing regardless of who's in, who's out. Cordell Patterson has kind of been the man in that offense, and it still blows my mind.
And it's also the Dolphins' two corners, Byron Jones, Xavier Howard. They're not playing, right? They're still out.
Yeah, they are still out. I believe so.
So he, I don't think it puts a cap on Patterson. I mean, I understand the logic on that, but you got a guy that is like both running back and wide receiver, and it's supposed to be a close game, real close game. 1 point. Atlanta's only a 1.5 favorite over Miami.
So they both did have limited practice, and they are both questionable as far as their game status goes. So they have not been ruled out.
See, if they play, I think it helps Patterson because they're really good, and it's going to not shut down their wide receivers, but it's going to put a cap on those wide receivers. But if they're out, yeah, I would still roll with Cordell. I mean, I can't think of a situation where I wouldn't until we see that regression. The over in that game, 47.5, Yeti likes it a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Why do you think the over-under is so low in that game? With Atlanta's ability output and their defense not being that great, Miami's defense just gave up 300 yards to Lawrence. Why is the over-under so low?
A lot of experts are pegging the Dolphins to come out flat, coming off a emotional upset against the Jaguars. Plus they opted to not take the bye not taking the bye coming off London. So this jet lag theory is real is a huge deal. And it's kind of a reason that a lot of people are pegging the Dolphins to just come out flat. So I'm not one of those. I think it's going to be a kind of a back and forth game. And we're going to see a lot of points.
Ryan says it's because people hate Matt Ryan and Tua Tagovailoa, which is valid. People do hate them both. Fantasy people hate them both, which I don't understand. Matt Ryan has been putting up some pretty good numbers in the last 3 games.
Yeah, and I also think with these freaking Deshaun Watson rumors, Tua has a lot to prove. Yeah, he has a lot to prove. So I think he's going to come out firing on all cylinders. I love the Tua to Jalen Waddle connection.
For this game or just in general?
In general, but really in this game, I love freaking Jalen Waddle. His value on DraftKings. He's only 5,600. I mean, I love that price tag.
If you do Tua and Jalen, who would you come back with, Ridley or Patterson?
I may play them both, honestly, but I think it would depend on if the Miami's cornerbacks go or not.
Yeah, when will we find that out? I need to know that too. Just for my all year fantasy.
I will tell you that
is Devontae Parker playing?
Cordell Patterson is only at 5% ownership rate, under 5% ownership. Yeah, so
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking to play some Cordell Patterson today. I do like Josh Jacobs too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The Ryan Ridley Pitts Waddle is my bread and butter for this week. So Matt Ryan, wow. Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley, Kyle Pitts. That's going to be.
It's a good stack, man. I love it.
Yeah, but how expensive is that, Yeti? I mean,
yeah. Well, he's saving. His savings are coming from Matt Ryan at only 5,700.
Ryan's only 5,700 on DraftKings.
Exactly. So that allows him to get and like I just told you, Waddle is only 5,600. So that allows him to get that low end stack in. That low stack in. And it's going to be a low owned stack as well.
I like it. I think in
large field GPPs, I would definitely play it. And actually, I think I'm going to. Good stuff, Yeti.
Thanks, money man. Would you think of taking out Ridley and putting Cordell in for that stack?
It would be like I said, it depends on if the cornerbacks are playing, but it could be absolutely a decent pivot because we're seeing Calvin Ridley at almost 21% ownership. He's the second highest owned wide receiver on today's slate behind Chris Godwin.
Chris Godwin's the highest owned?
Yeah, he's Cooper Kupp is third.
Okay. I can see Cooper Kupp because Because AJ Brown's out, I could see that. Okay, I mean not AJ Brown, AB Brown, AB because
Yeah,
AB's out.
exactly.
Yikes!
Yep.
This is what happens when you drink coffee right before going on the air. It's not pretty, folks, but it's a necessity. All right, so what 3 games are you targeting for DFS?
So definitely going to be targeting that Chiefs Titans game. I think that's going to be fantasy, just freaking gold. And then I'm going to be looking to get some Cardinals in my lineups because I think the Cardinals are just going to rout the Texans. We're going to see them put up a ton of points against that Texans defense. And then my third, I like that Falcons Dolphins. Like I just said, I'm going to be getting them involved. And then I'm going to be looking at the Rams going up against that Lions defense as well. But my favorite is going to be that Chiefs Titans.
And what are the ownerships for those guys in that?
And the Titans?
Yeah.
So the quarterbacks are Patrick Mahomes is the second highest quarterback on the slate at 13.9%. Ryan Tannehill is only under 10%.
Okay.
And then the running backs, it's Derrick Henry and Darrell Williams. The two are top 3 in ownership. Derrick Henry has 20.8%. Darrell Williams has 16.11. And like I said, just everyone knows that this game is going to be fantasy goodness all around. And then at wide receiver, you got Tyreek Hill at 15% ownership. You get AJ Brown at 10% ownership. So it's one of those games that you're going to have to find ways to get different. Because like I said, everyone's going to it. Travis Kelce is the 3rd highest owned tight end at 12.6%. So yeah, it's just one of those games that everyone's going to be on, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to get pieces of it.
Right.
You just got to find ways to get different because it's definitely going to be a high scoring affair. It's going to be tons of points. There's tons of fantasy studs in that game. So it's a game you're going to want pieces of because I think you're going to see a lot of pieces to that game at the top of leaderboards today, but it's going to be essential that you find ways to get different. Definitely play those guys who are at high ownership. But like I said, you're going to have to find ways to pivot and be different because if you do end up cashing, you don't want to split with, the rest of the field.
Okay. Matt said, speaking of Arizona, which is a better play out of Christian Kirk, AJ Green, or Rondell Moore?
So this team is so hard to figure out, the receivers. He's
splitting the targets pretty evenly, actually.
Yeah, that's my point. And it's just hard to figure out which one's going to go off because either one of them can go off at any given point. But today I'm trying my luck with Christian Kirk.
Is there a reason why?
I like his owner. I like his price tag on DraftKings. He is only 4,400, I believe. I got to look at my lineup. Give me one sec.
I think AJ Green has seen less targets and a target regression slightly. Although he's seen.
Oh, Christian Kirk's 5,300. I was thinking of somebody else, obviously.
Okay.
But yeah, he's only under 6% ownership. I think there's going to be a ton of points scored on this offense. I don't think you can really go wrong with any of them, honestly, because I think they could all have big games. But for some reason, even DeAndre Hopkins at 7,700, he's not even seeing 7% ownership. Rondell Moore at 4,400 is actually seeing more ownership than DeAndre Hopkins right now. So get some DeAndre Hopkins if his ownership stays at this low. DeAndre Hopkins is going to find his way into a lot of my lineups. I didn't realize he was that low owned at this point.
Plus, it's like pseudo revenge game for him and Watt, so
there's a lot of those narratives this week.
I know. I like those narratives. Jeremy says, "Hell yeah, I got Mahomes and Daryl Williams looking good since I'm going up against." So this must be season-long fantasy since he's going up against King Henry. Yeah, that's a good play. I mean, Shepard's out.
Oh, is he?
Yeti just said Shepard's out. So yeah, so there is no one in Giantsville that you're going to throw the ball to unless you're trusting Evan Ingram.
Darius Slayton at only 4,000 becomes a good play.
Yeah. Okay. What's Ingram's? Just out of curiosity, what's Ingram's price tag?
Oh, he's gonna be low. I didn't even think I would even be considering Evan Ingram today, but obviously now I'm gonna have to look his way probably. But he's still 3,600. I would like to see his price tag a little more around like that 3,200 range, 3,300 range. But at 3,600, with if Shepard's out, I'll definitely be looking his way because he's only 2% owned. So
Yeti, where did you hear Shepard's out? Please and thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up right now.
Not that I don't trust your sources, because I do.
No, it's Adam Schefter 2 minutes ago. Today's inactives include Patriots running back Ramondre Stevenson. Wow.
Oh, good talk, because he's in a couple of my lineups for season long.
Devontae Parker is out again. Sterling Shepard's out again. So I am loving Jalen Waddle now. Absolutely freaking loving Jalen Waddle. That was my own one thing was Devontae Parker coming back. I thought maybe you could see his targets go down a little bit because Devontae Parker could eat into them. But now that he's out, Jalen Waddle is going to be at 5,600 is going to be one of my best plays on today.
I agree with Matt. John Ross could be a sneaky play. What's John Ross coming in at? He's got to be low.
Oh, he won't. Yeah, he's not even probably
on the same.
Yeah, he's just an afterthought, I'm sure.
Yeah, but they don't have anyone else. Who else?
Right. No, that's what I mean. So if you want to take your shot on John Ross, by all means, go for it. I guarantee he's not even 1% owned, and he's only 3,100 today.
Ooh.
Yeah, 0.59%.
Oh, 0.59%.
Yep. So, but at 3,100, if he catches a touchdown or two,
you're there.
He has the opportunity to break the slate. So, depends on how many lineups you're playing. But if you are playing a lot of lineups, by all means, take your shot on some John Ross.
3,100. So, all right. To slowly recap, so they have Darius Slayton, Evan Ingram, and John Ross. That's who Danny Dimes has to throw to today?
Yep. Depth chart. Let me just take a look at their depth chart real quick. Because
the Panthers' defense is.
Kadarius Toney is still hurt.
Yeah.
So yeah, and CJ Board, the other, he's on IR. Dante Pettis, he looked good last week, so he could be a potential. He could potentially be in. We got Kenny Golladay out. We know that. So yeah, I guess it's going to be some Dante Pettis and some John Ross today.
Words no one ever thought they would say.
But yeah, Darius Slayton at 4,000 is starting to look appealing.
Yeah, Marcus. Tony's out. Kadarius Toney has, broke my heart last week or whatever week he rolled out. He rolled himself out. So now Devontae Parker's not playing, so that increases Waddle. Stevenson isn't playing, so Damian, or was it always just Damian anyway?
What's that?
Stevenson out. With Stevenson being out.
Oh yeah. No, I was actually going to take some shots on Ramondre Stevenson. He looked good last week. So I thought we were going to start seeing kind of him take over that LeGarrette Blount role. And I said, earlier in the week, if Harris continues to have fumbling issues, then we could see Ramondre eat into his role. But obviously that's not the case. So yeah, it's Damian Harris all the way.
All right, I have a Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette question. So Bruce Arians came out earlier this week and said, we are not considering trading Ronald Jones because he was part of some kind of other trade rumor. Do you think, knowing how Bruce Arians plays, that he will put Ronald Jones in instead of, there will be more Jones versus Fournette in this game? Because they're going to be, I don't see this game being close at any time. 11 and a half, 11.5 is the spread right now that I have.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think Ronald Jones over Leonard Fournette you'd play? Because Jones has to be.
No, I think this is Leonard Fournette's backfield for the foreseeable future.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Ronald Jones is a thing right now with how Leonard Fournette's playing.
Right, but I mean, just for this game, because of the trade rumors,
Mm-hmm.
I could kind of see Arians putting Fournette in. I mean, putting Jones in, just to make a point, I guess. Because if you're up by like 2 touchdowns, why put Fournette in? I mean.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen stranger things. But like I said, I just think this is Fournette's backfield. Yeah, so I don't see Ronald Jones seeing much playing time.
Okay, this is like my last week, my Josh Gordon kind of hill. My Ronald Jones is going to be my hill today. I'm gonna put him in like 6 different lineups and see what happens.
There you go.
Okay, it didn't work. Don't do it if you're listening, because it didn't work on Josh Gordon last week at all. So, and he'll probably like get a ton of looks today. So, there you have it. So you told us your favorite prop bets. Who are your favorite DFS plays? Your least favorite DFS plays. I'm sorry. Who are your least favorite DFS plays?
My least favorite DFS plays?
For today.
So I'll go through, at each position.
Okay.
I think that's the easiest way for me because I have my spreadsheet set up. All right. So looking at it, I'm not going to. Taylor Heineke just is an afterthought. I'm not playing any of him. I think we're going to see Derek Carr have coming off of that big day last week. I think we're going to kind of see him come back down to earth today. I'm on Josh Jacobs more than the Raiders passing game.
Wait, I have a question. Can I ask, or do you want to finish? Whatever. Which is easier?
Go ahead.
So you said coming down there. Derek Carr is the first 3-week Derek Carr was last week's Derek Carr, right? Like he had really 3 good games until he had that bump. So the question is he coming down to earth or is he regaining the form that he had in the first 3 games?
Right. Yeah, but he finally bounced back and had a good showing last week. And I was on the Raiders. They were my underdog pick of the week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so I cashed on them, but I think we're going to see an off game. It's just kind of, a gut thing for me.
I got you.
So, yeah, I don't really like Derek Carr. I don't like Taylor Heineke. And I am not on Ryan Tannehill either. Ryan Tannehill just hasn't been himself this year. He was my number 7 quarterback coming into the year. I loved Ryan Tannehill. I touted him so much, but he just hasn't played well. And then we see freaking what Derrick Henry does. So I love AJ Brown, but I don't think that translates into. I think that translates into a big game for him, but not necessarily Ryan Tannehill.
Okay.
And then moving on to running back, there's so many good running backs today. But I am not going to be playing a lot of Miles Sanders. I'm so out on Miles Sanders. I can't trust Nick Sirianni. I think Miles Sanders should see the ball more, but he's just not getting the usage. So I'm out on him. A lot of people are playing James Conner against this Houston team. I still think Chase Edmonds is the guy to have there. And then I'm going to be out on Mike Davis as well. Mike Davis right now is seeing more ownership than Joe Mixon. I don't understand it. He's seeing more ownership than Cordell Patterson. I like I said, I don't understand it. Mike Davis just is not who we saw last year. So I'm out on Mike Davis as well. As far as wide receiver goes, I am not going to be I'm out on Heineke, which in turn I'm out on McLaurin. I'm not going to be playing a lot of McLaurin at all. And I think we're going to see one of those down games for Jamar Chase, like I already said. So I'm not going to be – I'm down on Jamar Chase today. And then I'm also down on Brandon Cooks as well.
You're down on Brandon Cooks? What?
Yeah, I'm not going to be playing much of Brandon Cooks, and it's not that I don't like Brandon Cooks. It's just there's a lot of better plays for me in DFS-wise,
Okay.
I think, than there is Brandon Cooks. It's not anything, against Brandon Cooks. I love him as a player, but I just think there's a lot of better plays that I'd rather go to than Brandon Cooks. But if I am stacking the Cardinals, then, obviously he would be my run back option. And then tight end is just it's just a wasteland at this point. So it's hard to say that you don't really like anyone at tight end, because anyone with a pulse is someone that you're looking to play in this landscape. Ricky Seals-Jones at 3,700 is a great play. There's just no one really that I don't like. I guess if I had to pick someone, it would be a price tag thing with Tyler Higbee. I'm not going to pay $4,500 for Tyler Higbee, even though he is going against Detroit. I just don't care to play him. And then it would have been Evan Ingram, but now even he bumps up. You know what I mean? So there's really, no one I hate. Like I said, if I had to pick someone, it would be Tyler Higbee at 4,500. Cole Kmet's only 3,000. The Bears are going to have to throw a ton. I could see Cole Kmet paying off a $3,000 price tag. Yeah, so for me, if I had to not like anyone, it would be Higbee just because of his price tag. But obviously, he gets a good matchup.
All right. Just for those that have people playing in the Monday night game, DMIC Media has just reported that there's supposed to be wind gusts of 3/4 of an inch with wind, 3/4 of an inch of rain with wind gusts 30 miles per hour.
Wow.
So, yeah. Not that anyone was probably going to play Geno Smith on that game, but I think that Jameis Winston would have been a play. But
yeah, and that changes the over-under approach for sure.
Yeah, and 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts, you're just going to be running the ball.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So the over's looking nice with that. I mean the under. I'm sorry.
On the under. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, I don't. Are you playing anyone in that Monday night slate? On that Monday night slate?
I don't. I have a couple of Alvin Kamara shares. Obviously. So I will be having to play some Alvin Kamara. But definitely temper your expectations, like we all know, for those Seattle receivers. I don't know in this Week 7 landscape with the freaking bye-apocalypse and
I still know that buy more Armageddon.
Yeah, and all the injuries. I mean, this landscape just doesn't. I don't necessarily know that it calls for you to be able to sit Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf. Not that you'd want to anyway, even with Geno Smith at the helm. But yeah, definitely temper your expectations for those guys. And you add that weather in, it's going to be an ugly game.
I agree with Matt. Both kickers definitely are not going to be kickers that you're playing.
Yeah, right.
That would be so much ugliness right there.
I haven't touched on defense really for DFS yet. And looking at ownership, which rightfully so, at just 3,100, the Cardinals are at 23.88% ownership, and rightfully so. I mean, 3,100 going up against the Houston offense. They're going to be, the defense to have, it looks like, this week, even at that high ownership.
Hi, G.
There he is.
Hello, G.
G-Money.
I don't think he can hear us.
I don't think so.
Nope. But we can see him. I. What do you think of the Houston defense is really low? What do you think of the Houston defense? Would you play them?
Houston Texans?
Yeah.
No, not for me. I mean, Kyler Murray and this Cardinals offense, I think, is going to eat them alive.
Yeah. Okay.
You hear me?
Yeah.
There he is.
Okay.
There's my guy.
Sorry, I've had a really long morning. We smoked a pork butt and
oh man,
and two of them, and then we also just started cleaning up the whole house and whatnot. And we have
I'm
friends
flying
coming
out
over,
right now.
And I totally forgot. Like, not that I forgot. It's just like when you're doing so many things at once,
For
you'll
sure.
forget one thing. And
sure.
like, to be honest, I haven't even created any rosters yet. I'm waiting for like the last hour.
Either.
Go ahead, G. What's up?
I'll just go over my plays real quick.
What's up, Lillian? How are you today?
Oh, good job.
And there she goes.
So the top plays for me this week is a little bit harder than the last couple of weeks. It's not really chalk. It's just more like, you got to pick what game you really want to target. But the game that I'm really targeting is going to have a lot of heavy exposure. It's going to be that Kansas City-Tennessee game.
Yes, sir.
I love that game a lot. My favorite quarterback play this week are Patrick Mahomes, Matt Ryan, Tua Tagovailoa, Lamar Jackson, and Tom Brady. And yeah, those are the guys I'm targeting. At running back, it's pretty. You really want to lock in Derrick Henry. He's the king of kings. He's the best play. I mean, I think he's on a goal and on a mission to break that rushing record and the rushing touchdown. I mean, he's running like no other. I mean, his ownership is really high though, 36%. And then after that, I think the guys I'm targeting is going to be a lot of value plays because if I'm paying up for Derrick Henry, I got to have salary relief somewhere because there's a lot of wide receivers I like. I like Darrell Williams, Chuba Hubbard, Devontae Booker, Cordell Patterson. Is it Cordell?
You got it, Cordell. Yep.
Cordell.
Yep.
Damian Harris, and then Devontae Freeman, I guess. But I'm gonna have probably more further the other one. But the other guys that I really like are Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, and what's his name?
How about Darrell Henderson?
Yeah, Darrell Henderson. Darrell Henderson is probably one of the top plays for me. I see what's going on. Sorry, guys. Like I told you, I just barely got onto my computer and
You're good.
Okay, yeah, Darrell Henderson. I think to me, it's a lot of people are on what's his name, Leonard Fournette. I think this game is more of a personal game for Tom Brady, and he's gonna shred them apart. Because if you remember correctly, Tom Brady, there were three teams that he was really interested in signing with, or I don't know, they were interested or like whatnot. It was the Raiders, Tampa Bay, and Chicago Bears. And the Chicago Bears, like they went with what's his name right now? Well, they went and drafted Justin Fields, but they had like what's the backup name?
Nick Foles.
Yeah, Nick Foles. Like really, that guy. So yeah, but DeAndre Swift is a great play too. Aaron Jones. Wide receiver, like when I said I want to pay up for wide receiver, you want to pay up for them. There's four guys that I'm really looking to like just try to get heavy exposure to. Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, and Chris Godwin. I mean, Godwin is way underpriced at $5,900.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of Godwin. To me, just try to find a way to get into Tyreek Hill or Devontae Adams or Kupp, like at least one of them. You're not going to be able to do two of them because they're so expensive. But I think those three guys have a ceiling of getting you 40 points this week. I mean, even Kupp. I mean, this is a revenge.
I also what I really love Waddle at 5,600. I know you said you like Tua Tagovailoa, today. So would you like to pair him with Waddle?
Yeah, I like to pair Tua Tagovailoa with Waddle and Gesicki.
Okay, cool.
I don't know about Preston Williams and those other guys. I'm not.
Yeah, Devontae Parker got ruled out, so
yeah. Yeah, with Devontae Parker being ruled out, Waddle becomes a very good player. We saw it last week. We saw what kind of stealing he had, and I think he's just getting better and better. And Tua seems to like him a lot. I mean, they have, played with each other in the past.
For sure.
But I forgot to mention my actual favorite play at quarterback. It's actually Mr. Matthew Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
He's my number one play. I'm gonna have a lot of exposure to him because it's not because just the revenge narrative. I think he really just wants to go. I mean, he wants to show McVay is one of those guys. Like when Todd Gurley was gonna get the rushing title or get he needed to break a record or something. McVay really likes to keep his players happy. He's a player's coach. Yeah, wide receiver. The values that I like that are really good. Definitely number one is Chris Godwin. Obviously, he's my favorite value. 5,900. I almost want to press a lock button on him because that price is so cheap, and he's gonna get a touchdown. Maybe
No Antonio Brown.
Yeah, no Antonio Brown, no Gronk. I mean, Brady always goes to whoever he's the most comfortable with. Rashad Bateman at 3,400.
Dante Pettis at 3,000.
Yeah, and Dante Pettis at 3,000. It was a just sick called week, I believe. With no Sterling Shepard, he's going to open up a lot of salary, and he's coming in up projected almost at 11 points for me. So my sick call of the week was Tyler Johnson, but I actually feel better with Dante Pettis. Yeah, I think you need to have those top four guys somehow, one of them, But tight end is Dallas Goedert. I mean, number one for me. He's coming in at 4,600, so cheap. He's supposed to be he's the main guy there. When I say the main guy, I think he's the best wide receiver for the Eagles. I mean, I like Devontae Smith, but I mean, if I told you Quez Watkins has more yards than him, would you believe me?
Yep.
That's kind of crazy, right? Then Mike Gesicki, Ricky Steele-Jones. If Darren Waller's out, or they say he's not going to play, I think Foster Moreau at the price he is, it could be a really good value. So I'm hoping we get news that he's out because he's 2,500.
Yep.
Great. Now my headphones are dying too. This is just the best. At defense, I'm either the Cardinals defense is head like above and beyond the best defense.
Yeah.
So the Cardinals defense, I mean, they're not expensive either. They're 3,100. So almost lock it in, Patriots defense after that against Sam Darnold 2.0. The Giants defense, Sam Darnold, we saw him go back to who he is, it's like what's his name? Dennis Green. They are who we thought they were. And yeah, Eagles defense with the Las Vegas Raiders, the Jets defense just to be cheap. But those are my main defense.
So Ryan H wants to know, who would you start today between the Colts defense, the Panthers defense, and the Packers defense?
I think I would have the Packers defense. No. Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing this is season long though. So, who the Colts, Panthers, and Packers? Oh, probably the Panthers actually.
Panthers against the Giants?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be the Panthers for me.
Be the Panthers for me, but you say Packers or Panthers?
Panthers.
Yeah.
Panthers, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, Saquon Barkley being out of that offense, no Sterling Shepard. I mean, it's just bad. I mean, opportunities will be there for fantasy points, but for a defense, Daniel Jones gonna struggle quite a bit. But fuck, I just said that, and I'm starting him in my. Yeah, sorry guys, I just got really sidetracked this morning.
No worries. Thanks for coming in when you came.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
No, it's funny because I had people reach out. Like I tell you guys, I'm on Facebook more than Twitter, and I had like 6 messages on Twitter. So I was like, huh. And then next thing I'm like, oh shit.
Hi, Kyle. Good morning from in Canada. How are you doing? All right, so
you get your maple syrup pancake, Kyle.
Actually, pancakes doesn't sound too bad for breakfast. GG
Yeah.
indeed. All right, so we're going to sign off to let everyone get their lineups in and to let G get his a gazillion lineups done.
Yeah, hopefully.
You will. So, any parting words, Ryan? Any parting words, Evan? That's
Yeah,
it, Ryan. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I thought you saw like a chat or something. I didn't know what was going on. Anyway,
I was reading, but it's okay.
No. Final words. Yeah, just good luck to everyone today. From a betting landscape point of view, last week we saw the public just kill it because pretty much tons of favorites cashed. We saw that Vegas totally adjust to that this week, and there's a lot of freaking huge lines. So yeah, definitely make sure that you're digging into these games because the lines are not as straightforward this week as they were last week. But other than that, yeah, thanks for another good show, and I'll see you guys next week.
G, what you got, babe?
No, I mean, thanks for tuning in for the 10 minutes that I was here, but won't happen again. I just got sidetracked. But no, just I really like Matthew Stafford a lot. Tom Brady, so was Godwin. Godwin's one of my top plays. But just good luck this week and good luck in fantasy football because it's bipoculous right now. So a lot of you guys are scrapping. That's why you think ahead. You look at the free agency the week before and you think ahead, guys.
Yes, sir.
But follow me at Fantasy GDFS on the Friday show, the Armchair DSFS show. I can't remember what it's called. Definitely to make these shows easier, but yeah, you can follow me there, and then on Sunday morning for the last 10 minutes of the show. Peace out, fellas.
Peace out, you guys. Everyone, thanks for joining. Eric, feel better. We will see you next Sunday. Thank you, Yeti. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Facebook user. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Ryan. Thanks, all of you, for listening. Thanks, G, for coming in for the last 10 minutes and giving us his insight. Evan, as always, thank you for all your prop bets and your insights on DFS. Everyone, good luck this week, unless I'm playing against you, and then I don't wish you luck. And have a really good week. We will talk to you next Sunday. Bye, guys.
Peace.